So what I'll be covering today, first of all, obviously it's a crazy, crazy time right now, and with this virus going about, and what I would like to share with you is my research that I've gotten from specifically David Wilcox, some other researchers who have looked into this on the government level, what they call the cabal um, perspective. They call it the conspiracy theory on this virus because it seems, I don't know, to be something that has been created rather than just a fluke. And from what I've been told from different resources is that I don't know if you guys have or have not heard about what they call the cabal or the deep state, or these people who are running our country uh, developed this virus, and this is their last hoorah before, or whatever, attempt to kill off the population. And I know it sounds crazy and a conspiracy theorist type perception. However, David Icke and David Wilcox and many other people talk about this and have done years and years and years of research and communicated with people who actually are in the uh, involved with these guys. And so what has happened is they're spreading this. They started it, and it has not affected the population as much as they'd like, fortunately. In fact, according to multiple people, the infection is less than flu. So it hasn't been as dramatic as they expected, which is really good. And that is what's going on, where it came from, according to many different sources. Now, what I would like to move forward into is how to protect yourself. And I think this is super important, obviously. And I got some information. I think Amanda got my message, but I don't think Heidi has, or others that are on this call maybe at the moment. So the ways to protect yourself are drink lots of hot liquids, at least 20 minutes a day, because the virus cannot survive in your stomach. So a lot of times people can inhale it and it can get stuck in the throat. And then once you drink the liquid, it goes down to your stomach and kills the virus. So that's huge. Gargle. The next is gargle vinegar, something that's acidic, and that kills off the virus also. The virus attaches to hair or clothes, so take baths, wash your clothes as much as possible, because the soap actually kills the virus. If you can't obviously wash your clothes that much, then you can actually hang it in sunlight, and that will also kill the virus. So that's another way. The virus lasts for 9 days on metallic surfaces, so try not to touch handrails and door handles. Obviously, you're going to have to, but wash your hands. But try not to do that. Don't smoke. Wash your hands every 20 minutes. Any soap that foams is the best kind of soap, I guess, for this. Eat fruits and vegetables as much as possible. Also, I was told that, I didn't mention this in my message, but vitamin C and D3 are really, really helpful for helping ward off the attack of the virus. Animals do not transmit the virus. Try not to get sick, obviously, because that can weaken your immune system. If you feel any throat discomfort, take care of it with the gargle and of vinegar, and drink as much as possible with hot liquids, because what happens is it can get stuck in your throat, and if it stays there too long, then it will affect your system. So that's uh, very important, and that's a key sign that if you may or may not have it. What else I wanted to share with you guys too was so the theory is that these people purposely uh, let this out, and according to David Wilcock specifically, he has insiders within the government. In the government right now, supposedly there's a group that is combating against this cabal I was talking about earlier, the deep state. And it's a military-run operation. And according to him and his insider with the military, they have found verifiable evidence that a lady in China, where the facility was created to implement this. I mean, it was actually a research institute that was funded by Bill Gates. And this research institute purposely obtained the virus and actually created the virus. And they found a lady who had vials of the coronavirus in her office. So he is already found, or he has stepped down from Microsoft, and so have many other CEOs. So what is being rumored at the moment, and now all this is somewhat speculation because we don't really have verifiable evidence of this is actually happening, but thanks for joining, Nikki. I'm just going to get you up to date real quick. If you haven't received any information, I will go over the way to protect yourself from the virus at the end of this call, just to review for those who got here late. But right now I'm talking about a conspiracy theory is really what it is, and because nobody really knows. It's just people who say they have insiders. People say they know for sure, but the thing is, a lot of people are talking about this. So what I'm talking about right now is Bill Gates is supposedly the one to blame in this situation, and he funded an institution or a science laboratory in China that has the virus and literally let it go in China. According to David Wilcock, he has contacts within the government. They found a lady who had the vials of the virus within her office, and let it go into the community. So at the moment, there are approximately 35 to 40,000 people in Europe at the moment, military people. The government is literally going to they say Italy, they say all over Europe, and obtaining people, and they are trying to get the cabal, the people who are trying to kill off the people. So there's a bunch of them in Europe right now, and the military, United States military, is like doing a huge arrest, up to like 500 million different people at the time. And they knew that this virus was going to be spread throughout the world. And they timed it to where they would send all these troops prepared. They've been there since March, early March, like I think around the 11th or 6th, to take out the cabal. So a lot of change is going on right now under the table that we don't know about. And is this really true? I can't say for sure. Is it, whether it is or isn't? Either way, there are people saying this. According to QAnon, they say QAnon is a platform that has been theorized that it's directly connected with Trump and the government, and that they are giving out information, but not like clearly. It's more in codes, and people have spent hours upon hours decoding it. So I don't know. What I do know is that this is what people are saying, and that the virus is supposed to go away just as fast as it came. I'm sure a lot of people have seen that online. If you don't have Facebook, it has been all over the internet, and other people who have this ability to channel have been said they've channeled beings from other planets. Are saying that this is already gone, that the virus is not going to affect people. Yeah, seem like they have it, but people also seem like it seems like it's still here, but the effect, like it's not going to destroy the earth any more than already or the people than it already has. It's already dissipated. They say such things as light beings have came onto earth and destroyed the virus, and obviously this is conjecture, but even so, it's still a positive aspect in that things are going to get better sooner than they are going to get any worse than they are now. So we're really at the peak of how bad the worst part, I guess you could say, and we're now heading down on the other end of the mountain, going down to where it's going to be normal within. My intuition tells me that it's going to be better within a month, like April, late April, right around there, mid-April, maybe around my birthday, which is April 21st, by the way. So about a month from now, it'll smooth out, and we're not going to see any more cases. Everybody, well, not everybody. Obviously, some people are going to be affected physically, but they'll be able to overcome it. We may lose some people, and that is really a horrible thing. But at the same time, we may not lose that many from now on. So if we maintain good health, stay clean, somewhat in your home, stay in your home only for necessity things you need from the store. Obviously you don't need to. You can go out. I mean, I think it's okay to go on walks and stuff like that once in a while. We don't have to be totally crazy and be in the house 24/7. But if you do, obviously come back in, clean your hands, and clean as much as possible. And for those of you who didn't hear what I said earlier, it says I have attendees. I can't tell. I don't know is anybody having any issues? Press *6 to ask a question, or if you're on an app, you can push a little question mark at the bottom of your app. Let me know if anyone's having any problems or didn't get the information. I know Nikki was in here late. Okay, we have one question. 2 questions.
Q&A session is over.
Oops, hold on.
Q&A session has started.
Sorry, click question one more time. I'm still getting used to this. Okay, Nikki. Here we go. Come on. Hello, Nikki?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Did you miss the part about my advice on fighting off the virus?
I did, but my question doesn't entirely have to do with that. I've of course been stuck at home, and I have a type of job where I have to be like a big ray of sunshine all the time, and I can't necessarily talk about my thoughts about conspiracy stuff.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I feel like this is a fairly safe place.
Yes.
Okay, so it's allergy season, of course. So everyone who's got a sniffle or a cough thinks that they've got it. And the power of the mind and the global consciousness also seems to be a factor at play that I think people, I don't know how else to say this, people who aren't woke don't understand that. And so my question is, obviously we get a lot of data daily about infection rates and things like that. But my question is, I have a huge team nationwide, and we are in contact every day, all the time, and no one knows anyone who has tested positive or has really any of the symptoms like this. Is it possible that this isn't real?
That's a great question. And you know what? I felt the same way as soon as it started coming out. I was like, this isn't real. This just doesn't feel real. And one thing that you probably already know this is that the mainstream media wants us to freak out. That's their main goal. This is happening. Everybody freak out. Yada yada yada. And also, which is interesting, you mentioned that, is I got a post from Kathy, one of my friends. I don't know if you know her. But anyways, she found a post online from a girl. It said QAnon, which is related to the government, that it's a fake. That's exactly what they said, that the virus is a complete fake and that it's not really out there, and that stay in your homes because they want this cabal to be frozen and can't go anywhere, and they want to make the move now, and that it's not really real, and it's going to be over with, according to the post, it'll be over within 2 weeks, but still get the supplies you need, because everybody's going to feel like, oh my gosh, in fear. But I feel the same way. I know everybody that I sent my message to, no one said anything to me about, oh, I'm sick or this and that. And another thing which I thought was interesting, my wife was like, there's a post online, this guy says he has it. I said, okay. So I went online and I looked up the guy, and he said, and when I was watching him saying that I had this, these symptoms, I could see his eyes literally going back and forth as he was reading. Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? I'm like, this guy's reading.
It makes me feel like, not to get like super conspiracy theory or anything, but
it's okay.
When I was in Pitt State during 9/11, we did major studies on imploding buildings. So when I first turned the TV on and didn't know what was going on, I was like, oh, cool. Why are they imploding those? I thought those were pretty new, though. I had no idea what was going on. And then when I got caught up to what was actually happening, it was like my brain couldn't wrap around that it wasn't imploding buildings, because I had just watched like 9 weeks worth of how to implode a building and what it looks like. So this reminds me of that, in the sense that my brain can't wrap around that there aren't any people coming forward saying, I had it, I'm good. And in fact, I was one of those people that we had bridal fair right after, it was like toward the end of January, and I got really sick after that, which is, common for being around that many people. But But I remember thinking while I was sick for about 4 weeks, which is very odd for me, that I feel nauseated and have, sinus issues and cold symptoms, which usually cold and flu symptoms don't happen at the same time for me. So then my first hypothesis was, I've already had this. This has already gone around. And if there was a testing site, I would love to be able to go in, test, and even have my antibodies or whatever if I'm O negative. And so it's like every day of this has had its own theme. And but
from last night.
That's
still
fine if they're okay.
Insignificant for you to have any possibility of knowing somebody. When it's less than 100 or 10,000
this
of a
is why I'm hiding on phone calls. My boyfriend is showing me the phone, and that there's so many people, and that's fine. I'm not saying that any of this is not true. Right. I'm just saying I think it's a statistical anomaly that the huge amount of people that I know, nobody knows anyone who had it.
Right. Yeah. It's very fascinating, and it's David Wilcox, which is, he seems pretty legit for as far as my research, and I've been comparing with other people and so forth, and so many people that I could think of. I know another guy named Christopher Timms, and he really does his research, and he thinks he's a great resource. Said that it seems as if it's the percentage is super low. He did the math, just like I think your boyfriend was saying, that the percentage of deaths is extremely low. I mean, it's like not even 1% in Italy, and it's supposedly the worst of the worst,
Yeah.
And so there's also other people just saying that, be careful. And so, it's a good thing to be careful too at the same time, and take precaution.
Even if this is just a drill, it's an incredible exercise. But there's people that, what I say is the clean your guns people have been looking for a reason to for a while now.
Yeah. Something that I thought was interesting on the QAnon is that they said it's going to go away real quick, and that there's going to be a sit down. And when someone says that, you mean, okay, we're going to have a communication. And so I wouldn't be surprised after this is blown over if we start getting a lot more information that from the government or from, just in general. A lot more. It's going to happen no matter what. There's going to be a lot of revealing. It's already happened a lot. So that's something to look for after this is over. And there's, according to also David, he said that there's about 13 or 15 other countries involved in doing this raid in Europe. So it's a big thing that's supposed to be going on right now, which. It's going to be very, very, very interesting after it's over. just say that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it just, when you said there was a guy who came forward and it looked like he was reading something, that reminded me of all the people who got phone calls or people who were supposedly on flights that crashed in 9/11, and it's like, gosh, how dumb do we have to be? How dumb do they think we are? Like, when is it going to end? Right. At what point where there'll be too many phones in the room, so there can't be this huge, ridiculous conspiracy all the time. They have to come clean because they won't be able to hide it anymore.
Exactly, and they're making their move right now. The government supposedly this they call it a coup or a coup against this, and this is literally, I would say, the last straw. A lot of people have been saying that this was the hoorah that they're coming up with, and that they were hoping to get a big result of deaths out of this, and it hasn't happened. So it's like a huge disappointment to this cabal. And what also was interesting, that someone said they got a message from the Pleiadians, which I think it's always interesting to get this information out and just consider it, whether it's true or not. It doesn't really matter, but it's interesting. Is that there's the cloud cover has been construed purposely because they're literally taking these people off the planet. Yeah, so there's a whole lot more information that I'm not sharing, that I've done my research, such as the government already has spaceships, and that they have advanced technology, and that they've accessed planets and this is just a tip of the iceberg of what I've found, and that they have bases on all the planets in the solar system and beyond the solar system in other galaxies. And so it's getting, this is, yeah, just, but getting back to the topic, supposedly they're getting rid of these cabal people right now as we speak. So I have another question. I'm going to answer them. Thanks, Nikki, for asking and showing up. Let's see what these guys have to say. What's going on here? There we go. Hello. You had a question? 503. Is it? Oh, yes, Heidi.
Yes, I wasn't sure how this worked. So what are you saying with the cabal perspective? This is a group of individuals that you were saying,
yes,
hypothetically, that they're the ones who started this?
Yes. So what everybody, or a lot of the information, that it's a big thing going on. They're basically evil people, is what David talks about. They have people in the CIA, they have people in the military, they have people all around the world. He says some of the leaders are George Soros, Bill Gates, who was the other one? Oh, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. All of these guys are associated with it. And their intention is to literally take the society and really decrease the size of the society. This way they have a better opportunity to control it. And what they want is, they want a bunch of poor people, and they want, a big gap. Rich, extremely rich, and extremely poor. So they can have a huge control. And also what they were intending to do with this virus. So they wanted to spread the virus. And once the virus got spread, Bill Gates specifically, which was also, according to David Cox, already created, and you can find a lot of this information online. There's tons of people talking about it. David Icke is the forefront of it all, and he'll affirm everything I'm saying. And he's done 30 some years of research. He started this in 1990. Well, maybe even before that. But anyways, he's a great resource, and he's one of my resources. And Bill Gates, what he did was, he already has created the vaccine for this virus. And so he spreads the virus, and then the virus gets everywhere, and then he says, hey, everybody has to take this vaccination, and it's mandatory, and so everybody gets injected with who knows what, and then we don't know what that does, and so that could be a double, negative on top of a negative. So the cabal is literally a group of extremely rich people whose intention is to literally kill off the population so they control it more easily. Yeah, I know. If to hear it for the first time, it sounds crazy and insane. That's what I thought when I first heard it. But it's too many people have confirmed it.
So where is it that you said you can go to look up some further information?
David Icke is a great resource. He has been doing it. DavidIcke. He's written many, many books. He's researched it more than anybody, I would say, on this planet, and has talks about it more clearly than I do because I haven't researched it nearly as much as he has. But yeah, he's a great resource. David Wilcox, he has a lot of information also. Wilcox, I think is. Yeah. These guys are really at the forefront of really digging deep and connecting with people who are actually in the cabal and or in the especially Wilcox. He has connections within about it specifically. He's someone to really look into, and it's a rabbit hole that you're like, holy crap, holy cow. There's so much information going on that they've been doing this for years. And this is really started in for thousands of years, honestly. A great example is Jesus, when the government was saying, you think you're the son of God? Well, you're full of, you know how the story went. We're going to kill you. We're going to make an example of you. And you can't believe that, because if the people have power, then the government doesn't have any power. And they want us to keep thinking that, we're not significant, especially the Catholic Church is not exactly as, hopefully nobody on here is Catholic, but they've been controlling people immensely. They're a part of it too. There's a documentary called The Unseen Holy, I believe it's called. The Unseen Holy. You can watch it free online. The Unseen Unholy, something along that nature. I can always send it to you guys via Facebook. But in that documentary, they found that the Catholic Church has built their monasteries all over the world on specific sacred places in specific towns, on a specific exact spot. And the people there did not want them there. As the history went, the Catholic Church came all around the world and just destroyed cultures. And that's no secret. But they also know about underground tunnels that are all around the world where you can literally go from one place to another underground. Why did they do that? What's the purpose? Because they would lose control. If everybody knew that reality isn't really the way it is right now, then their whole world would turn upside down. And not only did they build monasteries on those specific spots, but they also took over sacred land and built a observatory on a mountain in sacred Indian land. And the Indians were very upset. You can even look. I can't remember the Mount something, but in the documentary it talks more about it. The Holy Unseen, I think I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. In the documentary, they built a observatory, and some researchers went there and said, so, what are you guys doing here? Why do you have, you're a church. What do you need an observatory? What's going on? Right? And so they went into the observatory and spoke with an employee in the observatory and asked him questions and so forth. And they didn't ask this question, but the guy there revealed some information. And what he said is that they're looking for something in the sky. He wouldn't say, but what he did say was when they're viewing the sky, they have to wait, I think he said a couple of hours, for the UFOs to move out of their way so they could find what they're looking for. And so it's a clear sign, obviously, that there's UFOs and that there's, aliens and so forth. But it's just there's so much information that I could just go on for a long period of time about this. Nikki, I wanted to share with you the helpful tips. So basically, it's drink lots of hot liquids, a sip of hot water every 20 minutes. The stomach kills the virus. Gargle vinegar, also lemon. Virus attaches to your hair or clothes, so take baths and wash your clothes as much as possible because soap kills the virus. Hang clothes in direct sunlight if you can't wash your clothes that much. The virus lasts at least 9 days on metallic surfaces, so try not to touch handrails and stuff like that. Don't smoke. Wash your hands every 20 minutes with foamy soap. Eat fruits and veggies. Animals don't transmit the virus. Try not to get the flu. And if you feel any throat discomfort, then do the above steps. Gargle apple cider vinegar, lemon, and so forth. It can get stuck in your throat and then really do some damage. So according to some people, it seems to be real. At the same time, it doesn't seem to be real. I know it's a very peculiar world we're living in right now. But it obviously it never hurts to be safe. And also take vitamin C and D as much as possible. And eat fruits and vegetables. We still have to keep our distance. We don't want to get it at all. Were there any other questions from anybody else? 916. I see Amanda. Are you still on here? Anybody else? Yeah, go ahead, Nikki or Heidi.
Yeah. Yes. You had mentioned that supposedly Bill Gates had a vaccine for the virus, and if that information is out there and it's so known amongst a certain group of individuals, then why hasn't anyone come forward to Bill Gates for him to acknowledge the information that he has?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier, is that he has stepped down just recently as CEO. And it says that he stepped down in 2008, but he stepped down very recently. And he's not really being visible at the moment. And there's a lot of other CEOs that have stepped down. So this information came from David Cox, and typically he gets things before it's known. Amanda, it was the CEO of Bill Gates stepped down, and from the Microsoft, he's just recently stepped down, and a lot of other people did. There's a list of it. If you go online to see who stepped down from the major corporations, it'll give you a big list of these CEOs just all of a sudden just decide to leave. And there's right now, like I said, it's a theory. I can't prove it myself. It's just from they've decoded the messages from QAnon, which is supposed to be from the government, are doing a big coup against the big players in who are really evil people. A lot of the CEOs are just not good people of these big corporations. They've been, not have been, but were trafficking people, and are. They've been actually known to drink human blood. I mean, it's really just disgusting from what I've been told. And like I said, David Cox is one of the guys you can listen to his information. He's gotten a lot of insider information from people who are directly associated with these people. And there's even an article online where Bill Gates and I think was it Warren Buffett, George Soros, and who was the other? What's her name? She's really popular. Oprah Winfrey got together and Oprah, according to him, Oprah did not get involved in any of this. So she's out of the mix. But, which I believe. I don't see her. I mean, I don't know. Bill Gates looks like he wouldn't do this stuff. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know these people. It's really still conspiracy to me because I don't have any proof. I can't say, hey, look, here's a video. They did it. All I can tell you is that these people are claiming and saying this is really true. So, I mean, I spread it just because it's something to think about. Right. Go ahead, Heidi.
I was just going to say that I don't see Oprah Winfrey as the type of individual that would be, insert herself into that type of circumstances or situation at all.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't fit her persona and her background.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know her, and I mean, I don't know Bill Gates, to be honest with you, personally. I don't know. I've done research on though George Soros, and he has a really bad past. He, according to some resources, actually many different resources, that when he was a child, he was in World War II, and he actually revealed the hiding spots for many of the Jewish people to the Nazis. As a kid, he would just turn them in, and they would, do what they did. And he's had a bad reputation. He's had an agenda out to take down many different societies, and he's done it with Europe, and he was attempting to do it with the United States. Also, he's the one who paid a lot of the immigrants to try to come into the country. And a lot of people think that that's a good thing and that it's okay to take in people, but what we have to realize is that not everybody that comes into the country is meant, has the intention to help the country. Obviously there are good people. I'm not saying that everyone's bad, but what happens when you have an influx of different cultures, especially when ours is predominant English, and there's a lot of people in here that don't speak it? The education system gets somewhat dumbed down. Not like a bad thing, it's just there's a lack of communication. I can see it already right now within my daughter's class. There's a lot of influence of foreign people, and the teachers we can't really get the education to a higher level because a lot of the kids don't speak English, and so they have to have translators, but they don't have enough people to be a translator, and there's 20 kids in half the class doesn't speak English and the other half speaks English, so the level is not very high overall as average because a lot of them just can't understand what's going on because they don't speak English. And that was their intention, is kind of like the idea in the Bible where, the reason they didn't build the tower to God is because everybody spoke a different language. You ever heard of that? And so the concept is what they're trying to do is get a bunch of people who don't speak the same language, and so they can't understand each other. There's lack of communication, and then if our whole entire society was to conspire and say, hey, we know what's going on, nobody can tell each other that because everybody's speaking a different language, and no one wants to, it's really difficult for a whole society to come together and be successful if there's a lack of communication. So they want an influx of a completely different speaking society to try to come into the country to create confusion, lack of communication, and that's exactly how Rome fell. They opened up their entire, borders, and nobody could communicate. Everybody, there was too much people in there that were not for the better, I guess you could say, and it just turned into chaos. So what needs to happen right now, and this is what I think you could say spirit or God or whatever you want to call it. It was kind of really helpful that countries are closing borders, because it's kind of like a regroup of, let's get our stuff together, let's clear out all non-essential crap. I bet you tons and thousands of people are just cleaning out their garages and doing spring work, because it's really that time too. Not only is it's just the time to clean out. And it's kind of like, hey, let's hit it in your face. You got to stay home and get this done. And this has nothing to do with the desk, but once everyone clears out their stuff, we can allow the new energy, which is going to benefit society more so than ever. We're really on a path now that we've found out what's going on. Everybody's aware. We're stepping up in, a lot of people like to call it 4D, 5D, different dimensions. All I'm saying is it's a new energy, and this energy is going to be a lot better. We're heading for, we're on ascension. We're only going up at this point. There is no more going down. We've passed the cycle. The 2012 cycle was the end of destruction. The time where the floods happened. We're past it. It's never going to happen again. It's over. So all that's going to happen now is a lot of new things. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing in our lifetime alien technology, alien beings, new technology that's way more efficient than we have now. I would not be surprised at all if that's going to happen. I'm sorry, I spoke a lot. Anybody else have any questions? I'm letting out a lot of information. No questions? *6 will get you in, or if you have like a little question mark at the bottom. There we go. Let's see. 303. You're up. Hello?
Yeah, sorry, I jumped into this kind of late.
No worries.
I'm just curious, so what were you talking on with these famous people, and their role? Is it related to what's going on right now, or is that completely unrelated?
No, you're right on. Yes, so the people, we're talking about the cabal. Have you ever heard of that, the deep state?
I've heard of the deep state, but I haven't really looked too much into it.
It's really the same difference. It's just a different name. Deep state, cabal, it's really just different names. Really what the theory is, and some people do not think it's a theory specifically, David Icke and David Wilcox are very, very, very far into it in research and have connections within the deep state or the cabal. David Icke has led it since 1990. He's known about it for a long time. These guys, I would look them up. They're great resources. They know a lot what they're talking about. They've done countless research. Anyway, so what it is basically these top 1% people who have millions of trillions of dollars. And their intention is to create a bigger gap than there is now of rich and poor. And if they have a lot more poor people, then they can control the population. Then ever before, and this is their last hoorah as far as trying to kill off the population, because that is their intention. And Bill Gates is one of the people that, according to David Wilcox, who has the insider connections, said that he created the research lab and the vaccine that he had planned to implement for this vaccination, for this virus. And he also created the virus. So he's creating a scenario that he's not only the cause, but also the solution to the problem. And he said that this is true. You can even find it online. I did not go that far because I just listened to him. So I just wanted to share what I heard from him. That they found the actual virus in his research, in the research lab that he funds, and vials of it. This is the information that he got was directly from insider in the U.S. government, and the government at this time has about, I think he said 40,000 troops in Europe, and are according to him, they are planning to raid certain areas in Europe to literally take out millions of people who are involved with the cabal or deep state, and are shipping them off the planet. So I know it sounds crazy, but it's very interesting to me. And I'm just saying, hey, whether it's true or not, I can't tell you for sure, obviously. It's something to consider. Don't believe a word I say, everyone. Do your own research. I'm not saying this is all verified proof, but it's something to think about. And also, the virus is literally going to leave as fast as it came. Nikki was pointing out she knows thousands of people, and that, oops, sorry, hold on. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Okay, that none of them said they had it. That nobody had problems. Nobody is saying, even knows people with it. I don't know about you. Do you know any people that have it?
I've heard of people having it that I'm not too close to, but
right.
From what I've been reading and stuff, and I haven't been reading mainstream media, but from what I've been reading is there's many people who have it who experience no symptoms to extremely mild symptoms, and I know the news isn't reporting any of that. Oh yeah, exactly. And I've heard the same thing, that you can, let me tell you real quick, you didn't get to hear, and this information came directly from China, what they found, how to prevent it. And they just basically say, drink lots of hot water, your stomach kills the virus, gargle vinegar, that also kills it. Virus attaches to hair and clothes. Bathe and wash your clothes as much as possible, because the soap kills the virus. If you can't wash your clothes that much, you can hang it in direct sunlight and it kills it. Don't smoke. Wash your hands every 20 minutes. That's quite a bit, but as much as possible with soap that foams. Eat fruits and veggies. Animals don't transmit the virus. Try not to get the flu. And if you feel any discomfort in your throat, just do the above steps. Gargle apple cider vinegar or lemon juice, something very acidic. And it's really, it's not as bad as they say. As far as and also what David Wilcox pointed out is that they found that it has been really geared towards the Asian people specifically. Was it population control? I'm sorry? I know that seems kind of... Was this designed for population control over in China? I know that seems kind of out there, but... No, yeah, you're right. It's actually supposed to be intended for the entire
population, but supposedly they focused mostly on the Chinese population or the Asian, specifically this cabal. So yeah, it's interesting that it affects them more dramatically, I guess, because they have. First, I didn't know this, but supposedly their lungs are different than um, other people. So like I said, it's just, I don't know, it's just really crazy. And definitely do your own research, look more into it. But it's not as crazy as everyone really thinks it is, and not as harmful. Like I was saying with Nikki, the amount of people death related is like not even 1%. It's like 0.0001, something ridiculous. Even specifically in Italy, and that's the most affected area according to mainstream. Mainstream is just blowing it up out of proportion, blowing it way out of proportion.
Yeah, I'm trying not to watch the news right now just because I know their goal, and this might be irrational thinking once again, but I believe their goal is to incite fear in the public.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's literally all they talk about is like, beware, be afraid, do this, watch out. That's all you hear. This guy, someone lost their kid. Someone did this. I could tell you guys a quick story that happened to me. Friends and I when I was younger, got in a fight in San Diego, and the news got a hold of it, and then in the San Diego news, this was in San Diego, and said, beware, these guys are committing hate crimes. And we didn't even do that. There was no intention. We just were I was literally protecting my friend at the time. And so ever since then, I just don't believe a word they say. It's just a bunch of BS for the most part to me.
So was this, I read an unverified news article regarding this. Was this created in a biochemistry lab, or did it actually start in a wet market in China?
Yeah, they found it in a lab that Bill Gates funded.
The one that there's some conspiracy theories around, it's possibly true.
It could be true. Yeah, he said he knew the insiders. David Wilcox knows direct sources within the government who are actually in Europe before it happened and anticipated it. Supposedly, he thinks that the government is able to predict the future of the cabal, and so they went directly to that facility and found the vials there in a lady's drawer, like 4 vials. You should, if you look him up on YouTube, he has like a 2-hour talk, and he tells you pretty much all this information, and it's really interesting. I mean, I like I said, the people I find for resources, claim that he's a good resource and that he, tells it like it is. So I don't doubt him, but at the same time, it's I'm the type of person who likes to see it to believe it for the most part. But the good news is it's not as bad as everybody thinks it is, and that we can protect ourselves, and we should obviously take care of ourselves. But it'll fly over, and I would not be surprised if we see a huge change in our reality after this, because like I said, a lot of people are going to be cleaning out cobwebs in their own reality, in their own mind, in their own house. And whenever you clean anything out, you're creating a space for more information. That's literally how things work. No space is really empty, but at the same time it is. That's definitely a spiritual.
So this isn't necessarily a bad thing going on, I think, because it's for the middle class people like myself, it's kind of like an awakening opportunity to become more realized.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, it's definitely a big energy shift. I highly recommend to meditate as much as you can at all times. Rest. really try to connect with that inner self, because the energy is changing. I could, just from my intuition and from other resources. Yeah. We're moving up quickly, real quick.
So that's a good thing then.
Oh yeah, this is actually everything that is. Whenever we encounter something like this, something that's dramatic and what we think is horrific, you get the opposite reaction. So you get a bad, the virus, and then what's going to come next, the good. And here's something else I didn't tell everybody, and that David pointed out, which I think is very interesting. So if you ever notice in movies, the hero starts in a discovery of who he is, what's happening, meets a girl, kind of falls in love, and then go into another stage where all hell breaks loose, and then he's practically dies, right before the end, when everything becomes, resolved, or he conquers the villain. And during that time, he acquires, right before he conquers the villain, he gets, help from other people. Like, hey, I'm there. All of a sudden, his friends show up who left him because there was a big quarrel. Oh man, everything sucks. What are we going to do? He's almost dead. That's where we're at. The almost dead. The hero's almost dead. So the next stage is the conquering of the villain. And right now we're in the midst of that fight of the villain and the good guy. And then we're coming quickly to the end of a cycle, which is, the whole holy, whatever you want to say it, the music comes in and everything's rosy and really well, though it's going to be a rough patch for maybe a few months, and we're going to still be in somewhat disorientation. There's going to be a lot of people freaking out, for a bit. But you guys that are on the phone right now are open and considering this information, and are looking to see, are ready, at the same level. If you weren't, you wouldn't be here, to allow this to pass and are ready to move forward. It's just sometimes we need that information to move forward.
This virus will probably be gone within a month. I mean, to me, the election year is playing a role in it too. I don't know if that's more of a conspiracy on my part too as well, but I feel like that's playing a role in everything that's happening. Yeah,
there's a big fight against Trump, and whether you hate him, whether you like him, it doesn't really matter. And to me, I don't hate him or like him. All I'm really hoping for is a great leader. And yeah, you're right. It's definitely gonna. My intuition definitely sees within a month or so, or at least minimum of a month, max of 2 months, right in that time frame where we're just going to be over it. According to this lady, she says she has direct connections to, I don't remember her name. I looked her up on YouTube. The video I watched was the Galactic Light Being Council or something like that. Galactic Light Beings, I think that's the name of the video. She gets information from these people, or these light beings that help her figure things out. And what she said is that according to these beings, that the virus is literally already gone. I mean, it's not even on the earth. The only thing we're seeing right now is it's like the train is still going, but you and I, and her and many other people see this as it's already over type thing. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's very fascinating. She said that these beings were aiding in the recover. They knew it was going to happen, and they just literally shone light onto the earth, And here's the thing with me about that. It's not that I don't believe her. It's not that I do believe her. What I do believe is that everybody is a light being. There is no other not light being. We're all made of light. I see it daily within my own family and myself and others. Everybody is made of light. So if I wish I had X, and I'm going to be launching this on YouTube anyways, if we all see ourselves as, the light beings or God or whatever, and we just imagine as if this virus is trash, and we just throw it down the toilet and flush the toilet. And that metaphor, that vision tells our subconscious, this is not what we want. So the subconscious does what we, see, gets rid of this virus, and it goes away sooner than we think. We really have a lot more power than anyone could ever imagine. It's whether we believe it within ourselves or not is what's really important. And I ask you all to believe that you guys are more than you think. You're literally God. It's just God is everything. So you're a droplet of God. It's the truth, whether we want to believe it or not. So if we just consider the idea that our thoughts are powerful, then that could change your whole entire reality. Yeah.
Interesting stuff. I'm glad you did this conference call, actually. And I'm glad I tuned in, too, because it was really interesting to hear what you have to say regarding all this.
I am glad. What is your name?
I'm Kyle.
Nice to meet you, Kyle. And thanks for showing up. Yeah, I do have to get going. I'm going to open up the line, and if anybody else, though, I'll leave it before I leave. Is there any other question? Oh, no, did anybody have here before I head out? Because I got to get going. I'll open up. See how to...
Q&A session is over.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I just had a real quick thought. Even though you were saying how...
Oh, sorry. I clicked the wrong one. Go ahead, Heidi.
Even though you were saying with Bill Gates being the creator and the solution of the virus itself, it was reported through the media that it was discovered in a wet market in Wuhan, China. Mm-hmm. So it's all so conflicting.
Yeah, that's where they released it. So he created it and then they released it there, is what they're saying. That's the thing with the mainstream media is they are ran by corporations. If you go online, I'm sure it's really simple to find because a lot of people are talking about it, but major corporations do own the mainstream media right now, and their intention is fear. They don't want you knowing really what's going on. They don't want you to know that they're in control and that they have a specific agenda. I think it was the Zytoghost documentary that I watched no, I take it back. It was the Frankenskies. I don't know. I've watched so many documentaries, I start getting them mixed up. Sorry. But anyway, so in the documentary that I remember, they played multiple different people reporting, and they all were reporting the exact same thing, but they were in completely different states. So their line that they started with was like talking about all exactly word for word, not only, not just like the topic, but the wording was exactly the same. All like 20 or 30 of them one after another, saying the exact same thing throughout the entire country, word for word. I mean, it was as if there were the same people talking, but different faces. Does that make sense? Like one person with different faces, which was unbelievable to see, because you're like, holy crap, it is just scripted. It's not really, they're doing their own research and, taking it from different sources. It's all one source. And if you go online to see the owners of the mainstream media, you'll see that the corporations really are trying to convince us that it's worse than it is. And it's really not. It's really not that bad. And whatever, it's, like I said, they did the math, and the percentage of deaths compared to the people who have it is 0.0000%. So even the flu is worse as far as death rate than this. So as long as you obviously do follow the steps, take care of yourself, vitamin D, D3 specifically, vitamin C, wash your hands, take showers, wash your clothes, stay clean, make sure, we're still got to keep our distance. It's a good thing to not get it. You don't want to get sick, and you want to take care of yourself. And I think that's huge. I'm always a big believer in that. But at the same time, don't try not to feel overwhelmed. Don't allow the fear-mongering thoughts that can go through your mind, like, oh my God, the world's going to end, because it's not. It's definitely not going to end. It's going to be over sooner than you think. It's gonna, the end of this tunnel is a white light, and I guarantee you it's there. I know for sure. But I'm overly optimistic, and at the same time, I am super empathic and somewhat intuitive, and within my own being, before I even heard it, I knew it was just a bunch of like scare factor, because when you hear it on mainstream media all over the place, you have to take it with a grain of salt, and you have to say, okay, what's really going on, and do some digging. And when you do some digging, you find out it's not as bad as they make it look. It's not that bad. Everyone's gonna be all right, for sure. So, yeah, you'll be all right, Heidi. I promise. Everything. I promise.
Yeah, thank you for that, Jacob.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm sure I will be just fine, actually.
Yes, you all will be. Everybody's gonna be fine. It's gonna be very interesting. I'm super excited to see what it's like after this is over, because I do have a feeling that we're gonna see a lot more information from that we never thought we would ever see. It's going to be a little disturbing, because we're going to not like it, but at the same time, we're like, aha, that makes sense. This is what's going on. We're going to have somewhat closure, I believe. I believe there's going to be some closure as far as what's really going on. Yeah, so that's kind of exciting. Something to look forward to. But anyways, I do need to get going. I got to go help out my wife. She might be going crazy right now with the kids at this point.
Well, I want to thank you, Jacob, for taking the time to bring us all together for this collective consciousness call.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure speaking with you, Heidi, and keep in touch and let me know if things get better with your current situation, and if you would like to meet up again in the near future. Let me know when you're available. We can wait this out, so just to be safe.
So we can what?
We can wait this out just to be safe.
Yes, that sounds great, and I'll let you know.
All right, Heidi. Take care and have a good day.
Okay. You too. You as well. Bye now.
Bye. Hello, 916? Oh, okay.